Good morning. Today is Wednesday, July 6, 2022. It's about 8:35 a.m. Mountain Time. And 80 degrees here in downtown Salt Lake City. We just got off the North Temple train station, or Frontrunner Station, rather. So we came from the north. Started off in Layton, Utah. I actually filmed a couple of, one long video on a bike path to Ogden yesterday, although I'm splitting that up into two parts this morning. Got a little bit of a later start, although that was somewhat intentional because I wanted to come to the Salt Lake City area and shoot some videos, but one of the things was I didn't want to get down here too early when there's like very little people out, and some of the places don't open until a little bit later. And to be honest, I'm kind of winging it as far as what I'm going to cover. But if you took those escalators, or that escalator up where it says tracks, it takes you up on that bridge. Vehicles can travel up there, but also the green tracks line is there, and that is where you can take the train to the airport or further into the downtown Salt Lake City area, and then from there you can take even more connections. Here's the Green Bike Salt Lake City system. I've always supported this. It seems like when I look at the map they do have fewer electric bikes. I wonder if some of them are not in the system anymore, although this one right here, as I say that, it's one of the 5 electric bikes that I see on the map. The gateway is just up ahead here. So in order to walk to downtown Salt Lake City from here, you could either go that way and through the gateway, or you could go this way and it kind of takes you alongside the bridge. One thing I'm kind of surprised about is usually for the past few years when I come by this area, there's several homeless camps set up right here. I don't see any of that right now. Well, that's a little surprising. I think how I'm going to start things off though is, before I look around Salt Lake City in the downtown portion, I want to show off the new Folsom Trail. I believe it was just unveiled last month. And the purpose of it is it takes you directly from the North Temple Frontrunner Station to the Jordan River Parkway bike path, something that I was mentioning yesterday. Last year I rode that bike path from Layton, Utah all the way to downtown Salt Lake City, but when I rode it to downtown Salt Lake City, the bike path that I'm referring to is that way, but I'm trying to think what distance. I want to say it's like a 5 to 10 minute bike ride going that direction. And on top of that, in order to get to downtown Salt Lake City, you have to come up and over this bridge here. But the purpose of this Folsom Trail is you won't have to go up onto the bridge and then take like a main road in order to connect to the path. You can just get off the train station here and then take the Folsom Trail, flat ground all the way over to the Jordan River bike path. From the looks of things, I don't think it's going to be the most scenic path, because they kind of just carved it out in between maybe industrial businesses and such. But it's still something I thought was worth exploring, especially since it's new. So I'm going to go ahead and strap on my bike chest mount, and we'll go ahead and do that little ride before we explore the rest of the area. Okay, I got my chest mount attached. I do like that I see a few sunflowers along this early part of this path. They had been working on this when I was going by here the past year or so, like the sidewalk area. I didn't know what they were developing. I didn't realize they were making like a bike path. Again, to the left would be the gateway, and we should, unless I change my plan, because there really was no plan. Man, there's a lot of dead bugs on the ground. I don't know what those were. But yeah, unless I change my plan, we should be heading back to the downtown Salt Lake City area. So again, this is the Folsom Trail. The trail goes about 80 to 85% of the way to the Jordan River bike path. But then like the final portion, I read online that they haven't decided what to do yet, because they were either still negotiating with the businesses that are in that area to like carve out the bike path portion, or maybe figuring out an alternative path, because I guess it's not the easiest thing to do. Let's see here. I think the bike path continues on the other side from here for the Folsom Trail. Yeah, so all this like groundwork you see here is newly done for this trail. Even this median in the middle here, which it may seem kind of redundant, but it's done for safety purposes to have the median. Yeah, and this is where the Folsom Trail continues. A couple of benches on both sides. And again, this video is being shot on July 6th. I think I read online that they had like a grand opening for this less than a month ago. And then for someone like me who's a bike, I consider myself a fairly avid bike rider. I always appreciate when I don't have to go uphill on city streets, for example. If I can take like a flat path to continue on to a main portion of a bike road, that's good for me. So this, like I said, the path is new. I do see some garbage underneath the bridge that's strewn about. Not too bad. I was also wondering, because again, I've never taken this particular area. I've been to downtown Salt Lake City and some of the neighboring streets, but not so much going, what direction would this be? I guess west. I haven't gone west as much. The only time I did was when I went to the sand-locked location. So it looks like we're weaving back and forth across the tracks. All right, where are we going now? All right, well, I'm just gonna follow the new cement, and I guess that yellow sign up there is probably related to the bike path. Yeah, I see it now. It continues over here. So it's not one long straight path for the Folsom Trail. They did some city planning and other work to figure out the best possible path. Just waiting for this Smith truck to cross. Looks like it's going to do a U-turn. I don't know. I see they have some bollards on both sides. I wonder if those are like solar lights that maybe light up in the evening time to illuminate the trail a little bit. Otherwise, I don't know what the purpose of them would be. I see a person in an orange vest up ahead. I don't know if that's a Parks and Recreation worker. Maybe they're, I don't know, it looks like he's measuring stuff though. Just the small touches, like the benches and the trash can that's here. That's great to see. On this particular spot, looks like a traffic or a car accident happened nearby there. There's a bunch of glass in the road. Glad I spotted that before I ran it over. I'm going to check my tires now to make sure I didn't get any in the crevice there. Alright, I think I'm good. I always say good bike tires, yes, they should technically be able to handle shards of glass. You know, a little bit of glass should not affect them too much, but rather be safe than sorry, because you never know, you could get that one little piece that just happens to be angled in the right way that creates that puncture. The worst ones I found is if you run over a screw. The screws or nail have been my worst experiences on a bicycle. Alright, Folsom Trail to Jordan River, so we need to go to the left here. So half a mile, I think. Let me check the maps on Google Maps. This might be the spot. Yeah, so this is, as far as what I've read, I believe this is the future development where they're trying to work on acquiring the land, and it looks like they could make it work. I don't know, maybe they have acquired it, but from the article I read, that's the reason why it hasn't been completely finished like they would like to. So instead, for this final half-mile portion, they want you to take 200 south, that's what it says. Make a right at 200 south and use the road to connect, which is not a big inconvenience, because as you saw, if you're intending to go from the train station to the trail, or vice versa, say you're on the trail and you said, I've had enough and I want to get to the train station, there's no hills that are impeding you, and it's a pretty smooth surface. Is this 200 south? No, this is 100 south. So they want us to go one more street. I think 200 south has maybe a street bike lane built into it, not with protective curbs. Actually, this isn't even 200 south here. This is Euclid Avenue, not the one in Cleveland I'm familiar with, but the Euclid Avenue in Salt Lake City. Oh, okay, this is 200 south up here. Google Maps indicates that there's a bike route. Yeah, so this is one of those ones where the bike path is in the street. But the sidewalk looks pretty smooth here, so I'm going to take the sidewalk instead. That's the second day in a row I forgot to set my watch to measure how much riding I've been doing. That's alright. Just started it again. Yesterday, even though I set it a little bit late, I believe I had about 34 miles of bike riding, which according to my tracker was a new record for me. That wasn't all consecutive. I was taking little breaks, but it was still a lot of riding. On your right. Excuse me, sorry. For what it's worth, I have not seen too many cars right now using 200 South. So maybe that bike lane is decently protected. I was thinking of saying, why isn't the bike lane right up against the curb? Because I don't know if that's parking or not, but now that I look at it, the edge of the street is sloped. It almost looks like a 45-degree angle down to the curb, so that would be kind of maybe awkward riding on a slant. Alright, so we've got a sign here for the Jordan River Trail. Tells you where you can go to downtown Salt Lake City, take the 9-line trail, or location to Chapman Library. We're going to go ahead and cross so this route should take you to the Jordan River Trail. Look at that, you're right on top of the stream. I wonder if this ever floods. If you haven't heard the context in the past, this Jordan River Trail goes really, really far. You could take it for at least like 6-8 hours, depending on probably how fast you're going and how many breaks you're going, and may go even longer than that. We've got some nice artwork here. I always love featuring artwork on the buildings. I know that sunlight might be blinding you, but let me try to get a picture, see if I can block out that sun. No, that sun is at the wrong angle. I may have to go really close to the building here. Well, one is of a person with a Utah University jacket on, riding bike with 2 kids, some turtles, bird, and people in a boat. And then we have actually 2 more pieces of artwork here, some flowers, and I don't know, that's not a bald eagle, I don't think. Its head doesn't look like one. So we're crossing 300 south here. Probably when I get to the next cross section, I'll stop and check out Google Maps, because again, I wanted to ride just a small sliver of this route today. But I think I want to focus back on just riding through the downtown Salt Lake area. Here's what I'll do. I'll cross 400 south, and then there's a shaded area over there. I'm going to stop and check out Google Maps, figure out my next move. Alright, I think what I'm going to do is ride this trail until we get to 800 south. See, there's a lot of ideas going through my head, but like at the same note, I'm also thinking, well, I've covered some of that stuff before. Like I was even looking at the sand lot again and where it was located, because from this point right here, it's only 1.1 miles away. But I'm like, do I really need to cover that again? I think what I want to do is ride toward Liberty Park, ride around that for a bit, and then work my way back up toward Trolley Square, which is toward downtown Salt Lake City. And then once I get into the heart of downtown Salt Lake City, I can probably get off my bike at certain spots and walk while I record. It's a little windy right now, but it feels really good. See that marker there says mile 38. Of course, we haven't been riding 38 miles ourselves, but that's just indicative of how this trail starts much further back and still goes a long ways. This is 700 South Street. Actually, before I want to make sure that I'm stopping at certain artwork pieces instead of skipping them. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but it says the Sphere. Artist is Daniel Gerhardt, cast bronze, polished stainless steel. This is one in a series of works by Daniel Gerhardt, commissioned by Salt Lake City. The full series is titled Pythagoras, and the other works are located inside the Pioneer Precinct building. Alright, so the sphere, let me get a little picture of that. Crossing 700 South. You probably noticed some of the electric scooters along the path too. Usually they're at like right at the corner, presumably because whoever's taking them, say they want to go to 700 South, they'll drop it off at the edge of the trail. You probably won't see the scooters like outside of the downtown or Salt Lake City area, because then you just get very stretched thin with the land, and I don't think the scooters go out to some of those more rural areas, or suburban areas rather. This should be 800 South coming up. Like I said, we could take this trail much further, but this seems to be the best way to loop back toward downtown Salt Lake City. I'm gonna wait a second. Too much traffic. This is actually Indiana Avenue, so it's not 800 South. Unless that's a synonym for it. Normally I would go, but I do have, yeah, I'll go now. I'll just say I have kind of a blind spot on the left here. I am wondering to myself if that street was actually 800 South and just renamed to something else, but we'll see. If I had to go one further, that's okay. Is this the 9 line? Alright, I feel lost here. Now I have to check Google Maps because there's two paths going, two different directions. Alright, so first off, Indiana Avenue does convert to 800 South. That's all right. This, if I would have gone over with the bridge, I think that would have taken me to the Jordan River Parkway Trail. This looks like a... No, this is also the Jordan. They all connect. It's like two different loops that eventually connect to the same spot. But instead of going down 800 south, we'll go near 900 south. Lots of sprinklers going on this place. Even though it's still pretty cool right now, maybe I will catch some of the mist. Ah, that feels good. I'm tempted to stay here longer and catch more of it. No, come back this way. That feels good. So let me see, there's a portion of the trail here. I think this would take you back to the Jordan River Trail. But then this path here, along the creek, nine-line trail. I think according to the maps, it wants me to go in here, but make a left. Yeah, see where it says 9-line trail? So if I continue going straight, that would take us back to the Jordan River Trail. The 9-line trail. A little bit of background there about the history of this little park. It's a cute little park. Got a little bridge down here. Got to be careful where I'm riding. There's like a stick in the ground there. You're right above a small creek going through. So that just on our left there is 900 south, and this is 900 west that these cars are driving in front of us on. So the cool thing about this, oh, you know what else is cool? I don't know if you can tell, but this button thing is a Salt Lake City decoration on it instead of just being plain silver. But yeah, this reminds me of the Folsom Trail that we were on going more north, closer to the North Temple Station. I'm waiting for this traffic light has not changed. I didn't know those cars stopped on the left for me. Does it change? I don't know, both cars are stopping for me. See, now it gives a walk sign, which is confusing though, because see, I think the cars were being nice and stopping because they saw a bike rider there, but even though it said the walk sign, it was still based on the traffic lights that were at the main intersection. So that's actually a poor usage of the white and red walk symbols and don't walk symbols, because it wasn't truly stopping the traffic. Oh, look at this up here. We really got a big time sprinkler system going. I'm ready for it. All things considered, I only got like the least amount possible. When I went through, it just happened to be one stream was shooting my direction from the right instead of all the ones on the left. But yeah, it looks like these workers that are here right now are doing upkeep on this park, and they just now stopped the sprinklers. You know, I should make sure of in a second. I should make sure that the water didn't get all over my camera. Looks like they're actually still developing this too. I wonder, I'm gonna have to look online how new the 9th Street Trail is. And this trail is going further than I anticipated. I thought I was going to have to cut over sooner. I just got a really strong smell of pizza, I swear, or Italian food. There's more decorations over there. Signs like safety or I claim culture. Try to zoom in on that. No race cars and no OHVs. Oh, so this is for a bicycle to do like a little tricks on, I think. A little bike park. Got a bike rack there, a water fountain. Looks like you can even go up that ledge and do bike tricks. Yeah, 9-line bike park, 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. Very cool. Oh, and the bike park extends over here too. I'll tell you, like, I am never going to do any bike tricks like that. So yeah, this whole underground thing on the right side here, all these mounds of dirt is a bike park. Now, who would have thunk it, right? Alright, so this is probably what I saw. See how this is not finished yet? On Google Maps it like showed it ending earlier, but it does look like they are expanding this area, so that'll be really nice. A great complement to the Folsom Trail if you want to loop back into the downtown Salt Lake City area. For now, I'm going to have to ride in this little bike lane here, which actually, because of construction of all this stuff, is going to end in a second. So I'm going to ride on the north side of the street just for safety reasons, because these sidewalks look like they're pretty good. Yeah, that'll be great once they complete that. I wonder how far it'll go. I'll try to get a glimpse as I'm riding closer inward. For what it's worth though, the sidewalk on 900 South is very smooth here. I've ridden, well, like when I did that ride to see the Sandlot that time, whatever side street I was on, the sidewalks were quite bumpy. These all look like they're in pretty new condition. This is 500 west we're crossing with. I don't know if this is, yeah, it is 900 south, because I was saying now I see a different name. It says Harvey Milk Boulevard, but next to that it says 900 south. So far from what I've seen, that bike path, or you can call it a big new sidewalk depending on how you look at it, it's still going, and we're getting up to 400 west now. A lot of the cement over on the other side is already finished. Just mostly the what do you want to call it, like the curbs where it meets the street, that's not completed. And it does look like they're working on the tree lawn areas, but I would imagine that's something they could finish by the end of this year. I'll have to look that project up online later, see what the estimated time of completion is. Now up here it says 900 south detour. Oh, we've got some rocky area here. .900 south detour, so traffic is blocked off at 300 west from going further east. But we're still good on this side of the street as far as sidewalk. When we get to Main Street, which is about 3 or 4 streets away, I think, I'm going to take a right turn and head to the south. This business here has my attention just based on the side of the wall. Donuts. Donuts. Place on the left says Vertical Diner, so there's another diner option. Got a sidewalk out up here, so no, I can still go in the sidewalk is out, but some artwork on the side of this building, and looks like this is where the red line is crossing. If you could take the red line down 200 west, and that's going to Daybreak. So I actually took the red line to Daybreak back in October 2021. Daybreak was a community that there were a lot of houses there that did Halloween decorations. The number one thing I remember about that day windy as hell. It was like a non-stop 30-mile-per-hour wind. But I still got a great video out of that and enjoyed all the Halloween themed directions. I think I visited like almost every house on the map. I didn't, again, I didn't have the chest mount. I don't know what that was. I'm gonna have to watch that back later. I just got goosebumps. I swear that guy on the left was on the ground with like a machete or something. Maybe it was just a gardening tool though. But he was like, I looked over at him for a second, he was like staring at me, and I was thinking to myself, like, what the fuck, is this guy just gonna stand up and like try running at me and hacking me? It was probably just a garden tool, right? Because he was in the crevice of the sidewalk. Maybe he was just wondering who the hell I was talking to. This is West Temple Street. I don't think we passed Main Street yet, but I gotta check maybe the next street. Yeah, I think the next street says Main. United States Post Office on the left here. Although it says closed, maybe still too early for that. Yes, here is Main Street. Main Street is more, let me think here. You know, I was going to cross and then go, but now I see construction down there, so I should go this side first. Because traffic is blocked off on the right and no one can come that way, I'm going to go because no one's coming on the left, and like I said, I know for sure traffic cannot come on the right. The sidewalks do look smooth here too. But yeah, Main Street, when you're actually in downtown Salt Lake City, which is about maybe 10 blocks or so behind me or more, it truly feels like a main street, and I believe that's where it eventually intersects into Temple Square and through the middle of City Creek Center. But as you get out of downtown, it looks more sparse. I mean, you have a little hotel maybe on the left, some small shops, but otherwise it's pretty spaced out. On your left. Thank you. So that must be what that construction was that I saw. Big bump there. I could have ridden on the other side, I guess, but I saw this construction. And they're redoing parts of the street. on your right. Thank you. There's Fremont Avenue up ahead here. See car lots. So I need to check Google Maps to see whether this is the road I want to go on. Actually, I don't need to check it because I can see the baseball stadium to my right. I think I pressed it just in time. All right, how about that? A rare moment where I timed up the pressing of the button just exactly where I wanted it to be. So there's a fire station on the left here, but then over here is Smith's Ballpark, the home of the Salt Lake City Bees minor league team. Again, an example of something I showed last year, but even though I opted not to show the sand lot, I figured let this be kind of the perimeter of what I can show in downtown Salt Lake City. Because they don't really have a they don't have a main baseball team except this for the Salt Lake City Bees. Yesterday we went by the Ogden Raptors, but it looks like they're featuring some of the main players who have formerly grew up in the farm system for Salt Lake. Mike Trout and then Joe Adele. I'm familiar with Trout, but not Adele. Last year I explored to see if I could see like any of the actual field itself going down that way, but you really couldn't. This is the best shot of the ballpark right here. But I'm going to sit down for a second, look at the maps, make sure I know where I'm going, and probably hydrate too. Finished up with my little break there. As I was sitting down, someone came by. They were wearing a Las Vegas Raiders t-shirt. They said they moved to the area recently and were asking me like, oh, do I know what because he said he likes baseball and basketball. He said, do I know what team this was or whose farm system they were? So we were trying to figure it out. We think it might be given Mike Trout's up there, and he thought he had heard it in the past too, that maybe it was the Angels, Los Angeles Angels. And then he was asking me where the Utah Jazz play, and I said that they're in downtown Salt Lake City near the Gateway. We're going to ride a couple of blocks down toward Liberty Park. I do want to show this place called Monsieur Crêpes, which is, I believe, 1 block to my right going south once you get toward close to the Liberty Park area. It's a nice breakfast or late brunch place. This is the intersection of 1300 South and State Street. If I'm not mistaken, I believe once you cross State Street that a bike lane appears in the road. You could take. I'll have to see if I decide to ride that or not. Turn lane may get to go first. Nope. This is a really wide street, State Street. This one actually seems busier than Main Street did. I'm not timing these traffic lights the best today. This one won't last too long, it's already changing. Alright, here's another example of, see these small houses that are here? I bet you if I look these up on Zillow, these are probably like $700,000. Purely location based because they're close to downtown Salt Lake City. But see, the crazy thing about that is when I think of Cleveland, I don't think the prices of homes in the Tremont area or Ohio City, for example, would be as lucrative. Some of these lights probably would change even without me pressing the button, but still prefer pressing them if I get there in time. I know it looks like I'm going way out of the way of downtown, but there's a method to the madness, because if I had started near the gateway and worked my way through downtown, this is eventually where I'm riding to, kind of the corner where I like ending my exploring, because it feels like it feels like a nice prominent spot just outside the downtown area. But instead, because we did that little bike riding adventure, I'm mixing things up, and we're kind of going to be starting down in this corner now and then working our way to the downtown area. All right, so Liberty Park is on the left. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show that Monsieur Crêpes place first, and then come back. I'm half tempted to actually go eat at Monsieur Crêpes. Here's the Park Cafe. Over here on the right, there's a little baseball diamond for little kids. And every time on Google Maps I see this area, there's a dog park advertised somewhere in the southeast corner of that park. This one here is a bigger baseball diamond. It's nice, it actually has a grass infield too. It's not often you see a grass infield. Must be going slightly uphill here. We're going to make a right turn here at 900 East. On the other side of the street looks like it has more shade on it right now. I may try to cross over here at Sherman if I don't see any traffic coming. Oh, there's no sidewalks here, what the heck? I mean, no driveways. Back at Halloween time, again, I keep bringing up Halloween today, but there was a video I did on a house called the Carnival of Crepes. That Carnival of Crepes house is going to be a little bit further down on this street, so I'll point it out when we get there. But for some quick background information, it's a homeowner who every year does a really creative Halloween display, but every year it's a completely different theme. I think, I don't know, a few years ago or last year, I don't know, 2 years ago, I mean, maybe, he did a giant dinosaur in the front yard along with other exhibits. Last year's that I featured, which was the first time I had seen it, was Carnival of Crepes. So he had a big handmade Ferris wheel with skeletons and other decorations you would find at a carnival. But it's nice and interactive and great for picture taking opportunities. In the short time I was there doing my little video, there was already a handful of cars who had stopped just to snap some pictures and whatnot. There's a truck blocking the sidewalk up ahead, so I'm going to have to cross back over. I probably will not film the ride going back to Liberty Park. Once I get to here and Monsieur Crêpes, I'll stop the video and then show. Yeah. Right here, this is where the Carnival of Crepes was located. They have some nice 4th of July decorations up now. Yeah, I forgot if I said it. I probably won't film going on the way back. I'll just start at Liberty Park. Let's see if I can catch a little bit of water. That's my 3rd sprinkler I've caught this morning. Across the street there, though, is Monsieur Crêpes. There's also a fresh market grocery store to my right. When I get a break here, I'm going to try to cross on over. See if there's a nice spot to lock my bike. There's already 2 locked up there. Well, I'll find a spot in a second. It's a good thing I stopped, actually. My battery charger wasn't working. It's at 18%, so now I get to charge it back up. But this is, yeah, Monsieur Crêpes. And then I'll try to show what I'm eating inside. Love the decorations in here. And then I ordered the Montmartre, which is seasoned chicken, Swiss cheese, pesto, tomato, and oregano. And it's also cool is these tables have like French newspapers on them. It really gives you like a nice, fun vibe to it. And there's also a little patio outside there. And that was the entrance, so I'm going to go ahead and dive into it. Well, that was a delicious meal. I highly recommend anyone check out that Monsieur Crêpes. I've been there, I believe, 4 times now, including earlier this week. I think every time I've gotten the same thing, the Montmartre, but always delicious. Not these berries. I hate running over the blueberries. It's hard to get them off the bike tires. So I walked and rode a little bit, backtracked. So you guys didn't miss anything new. In fact, you can see that baseball diamond on the left. But I just pulled over in a shaded spot. One of the reasons I was walking slowly partway back, I guess I was to rest, but the main reason was recharging my recording device, which had fallen to 18%. Even though I had it plugged in, every so often the connection to my battery must just come loose or something, and I don't realize it. And if it's not charging, it drains battery really fast. So then I just took my time, so now I got it up to like 65%. But next we're gonna ride through Liberty Park. Probably not going to circle the whole park like I have in the past, but I'll go over near the water area and give a glimpse. The other day I was talking about the movie The Sandlot, and I was talking about it earlier in this one, but near the start of the movie The Sandlot, Liberty Park was the location where they had one of those big gatherings. I know there's a certain day of the week they do like a farmer's market event here as well. This is 700 East. See if the curb lane stops. Yep. Alright, let me try to get to the trail. Technically, yeah. So this part that the people are riding on is the trail, and it goes around the whole entire park. But actually, I want to go and peek at the beautiful body of water that is here. It's always a nice, picturesque thing. See them feeding the geese some bread. There's a chess table on the bench there. I'm gonna go near the shaded area and turn and look toward the water. That hill may be too tall. Let me go a little bit further. Take one selfie for me too. Yeah, I always love granted, it's not like bright blue water. It's a little greenish, but just seeing all the trees in the background, the ducks, blue sky, and the mountains. And you can see there are a few Lime bikes and spin scooters that are specifically docked here. So those, and Lime scooters as well. Those look to be ones where those companies specifically put them here. Here's a nice map we can peek at. Let me try to tighten this a little. I feel like this is my camera thing is loose. Alright, so right now we are down here. This is Liberty Lake. There's a trail that goes around the entire duration of the park. Just to our left, which is right there, is the Tracy Aviary. So there's a big bird exhibit there you can pay tickets for and see the birds. I've never been inside it, but there's a swimming pool here, tennis courts up here. Forgot that there was a basketball court here. There's also horseshoes, bocce, a volleyball course. No pickleball though. But lots of green space, and we're gonna go down the middle portion here, and that'll take us closer to the downtown area. Interestingly enough, the map up there says you are here, so someone put the wrong map up here. Someone taped over that with black because you aren't here. You're actually down here on this particular map. sign on the bottom here says, "To those who served in the world wars," the big American flag, as these parks often seem to have a monument dedicated to fallen soldiers or those who served. No water is moving down the middle portion here, so I don't know how long that has been like that, or if that's due to the water shortage or dryness happening. Basketball court would be to my left. I always try to look at the backboards on them. So these backboards are those smaller ones where you can't really use the full height or English off the glass. For it being a weekday, the park is a weekday morning rather. The park is pretty well populated. I see a decent amount of kids. I was going to mention that there has been a homeless population here in the past, and I see a couple tents in the big grass area where the trees are providing shade. Well, it's not a huge presence, but you will see a little bit of that in the park. But I feel like there's enough people in here where it's still a safe presence. There's another park actually in downtown Salt Lake City called Pioneer Park, and I've never actually gone in it, even though the first time I was here I stayed in a hotel that was like a block away from it. And the reason I never went in it is because when I Googled it online, a lot of people at the time had said that it was a big time like area for homeless camps and didn't feel like the most safe. This is 600 East, crossing with 900 South. And the road here, cars can use it, but it's multi-purpose, meant for bicyclists as well. And I've ridden this once in the past. Does not seem like it gets a lot of vehicle traffic. I'll just peek behind me and pull over as appropriate. And even though you're supposed to share the road, I full well know I don't go as fast as a car goes. A lot of times I'll ride the street that is over to my right. There's a nice garden area over there. The lights are flashing for me to go here. Before I continue further though, I want to look at Google Maps because I do want to showcase Trolley Square, which might be to my right here. Where is Trolley Square? I can go another block or two before I need to cross over. Even while I pulled over, no cars had come in this lane behind me. I remember the first time I did a video at Liberty Park for my channel, someone who was either from this area or used to be from this area told me like, oh, you should have ridden the bike down, this road here because it had, a nice median in the middle and was generally good for bicyclists. And I did ride it one time last year. But that was when I only had my cell phone, and when I was riding in the street, I didn't want to be holding my phone with one hand and riding with the other. Just had too many instances of me hitting even the slightest bump while recording and feeling like I didn't have the comfortable control of my bike, so it was not enjoyable at all filming that way. Coming up on 600 South here, I'm going to make a right turn, at least up on the sidewalk. There might be a cut-through area I can go through. There's free Trolley Square customer parking, so if you're coming to shop near this area, you can take advantage of free parking there. Oh, the stairs are blocked off. Oh, not all of them. I don't remember if I can get to the front from there, though. Let's try this out. I don't know why they would have those stairs blocked off, though. Unless they really don't want people up on the plaza here. Yeah, I don't think there's a cut through to the front. But inside here, there's several shops that you could take a look at. It's actually a 2-floor building. And there is a trolley museum inside there as well. Oh, here we go. This will take me to the front. It's pretty cool that they have like a balcony for Desert Edge Brewery. Outdoor seating, but also up above. There's a pottery barn on my left. I should have took the ramp on my left. I'm too focused on the shade here. Because it is, I don't know if I mentioned, but it's up to like 89, 90 degrees now. So this appears to be a little diner here. I don't know if it's open right now. I mean, it's not open right now, but I mean, back in business. Open all day Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or Monday through Thursday evenings. That's like a cool place to eat with the theme of the Trolley Square as well. There's a kitchen place on the left here, Wan Kitchen, as well as a bar-y. That looks like a clothing shop though. And you've got the big Trolley Square water tower. So just for some perspective, this is like the Trolley Square Mall where you can go in and see several of the shops. There's some, I didn't realize that they had as many little eatery places there. Let me see if I can point this upward to show the Trolley Square Tower. I don't know if I had tilt lock mode on while I was riding last little bit, so there's the Trolley Square water tower. Across the street there's a big, almost factory looking building that says Chuchi's Italiana. Surprised the stairs aren't blocked off here, but it does say in the past to schedule a tour of the historic water tower, and then they have a phone number there. But I thought there was like a thing to block you off from going in. I wonder if people can just go up there right now. There's a Whole Foods market here on the left. Yeah. Before I had the use of my partner's bicycle that I now take, I used to use the green bike system. But anytime I would get off that North Temple train and I would ride it down, this used to be like the final bike station, so I would always park it here and then walk back over to Trader Joe's, which is on the next block. I don't remember this Whole Foods market. You know what? I'm walking with my bike, but I'm going to disconnect this. Still have it plugged in. This should give you a better view as I'm walking. I don't remember this little artwork that they have here for Trolley Square. Free customer parking, in addition to being down here, is in the upper level for Trolley Square. And that's probably a better view and picture opportunity for how the Trolley Square Tower looks compared to the area with Whole Foods Market. While I'm here, let me try to quickly recall. There was a tragedy at this area back in February 2007. It says there was a Trolley Square shooting. It was considered a mass shooting back in February 2007 at Trolley Square Mall in Salt Lake City. There was a gunman that killed 5 bystanders and wounded 4 others before being shot dead by the Salt Lake City police. And it says no motive was determined. So that always made me curious. Like, I don't know, was this area more popular back then? It actually looks a little bit more, or quite a bit more popular and well trafficked than a couple of years ago when I was first by here. I thought it was like a deserted area except for the Whole Foods portion. This is 700 east with the cars going both directions, and then I'm crossing 500 south. What is that over there? Ex-wife's place? Big Daddy's Pizza. I have this thing where, for whatever reason, like once or twice in the past, or once when I was first here, I took a picture near one of these telephone poles. I think it's this next one. Or is it the one further on? I don't know. Maybe it's the next one. But then it just became like a tradition. Like every time I was here, I would try to take my picture in the same spot, a selfie. Right around today, this is going to be that telephone pole. I feel like I have something wrong with the, like it's not quite the right spot, but I'm not gonna go searching for the picture when it's this hot out. About 90 degrees. Initially the high was gonna be 91 only. When I looked at the updated forecast, it shows 95 degrees in a couple hours. So not quite looking forward to later on as I'm trying to make my journey back north. The Red Line train that you saw earlier also comes here. So you can pick up the Red Line train and take it back to the downtown area. And you can see that we are getting closer to downtown. If you can see some of those buildings in the background. I think the first one says Wells Fargo at the top. There's a Chili's just on the left here. And then across the street, various other stores, Natural Grocers, Zao Asian Cafe, Taco Bell, Jimmy John's, Burger King. But my favorite place of all, yes, Trader Joe's. My obsession with always going into a Trader Joe's. I love the decorations inside and some of the snacks and food things they offer. And I'm probably not going to get anything big. I might just grab a snack of some kind today. because I do not feel like lugging a bunch of groceries on my back for the rest of this video. Oh, they have a bike rack down here. Did they have this in the past? I know I used to lock my bike to something. Yeah, I guess they did have this. I don't know why I wasn't thinking of it. I always like the artwork they have here, like Salt Lake City 2002 for the Olympics when they were here. And then further on down is artwork of the downtown area, like the, what do you call it, Capitol building. I don't think Temple Square is in that one. And further on down, when I get down there I'll show it, there's a Trolley Square one. There's Trolley Square, as well as the train system coming through it. The bees are a nice touch. I don't remember that. Maybe that's for like the Salt Lake City bees. And the University of Utah. And you got the snow spirit with the mountains, as well as, that looks like the Moab arches. And then further on down, you even have the University of Utah, again, the football team. They used to have a full container of these sea salt brownie bites. Now it's just a pack of 8 of them. But I do like those. I love these two. It's like a brownie on the bottom, cookie on top. What else do I like? So the other thing I was going to say was I also liked the cinnamon cake they had there, but when I was about to go over to that shelf, there was a stock worker there, so I didn't record that portion. But all I got was 1 banana, which I just finished eating after I got outside, and a fresh water bottle. It's nice and cold. I always like doing that. Plus, this may fit in my caged bottle holder down there. When I was in line, and this and the banana totaled 70 cents. Someone at Trader Joe's worker saw me and said, "Oh, you can come right up to my line." And coming like at the same time from another direction was a different customer. And right when that customer saw the worker call me instead of him, the other customer was like throwing a little hissy fit, like, "Oh, nope, never mind, I'm not going to your line." And then the worker said, "Oh, he only has 2 items, it should take like 10 seconds. So then the other customer said, "Nope, don't care." So I'm thinking to myself, like, God, how pity, or how, what's that right word? It's slipping my mind. Petty, how petty. And then sure enough, the guy rung me up, and I was leaving the store, and I turned and looked, and that customer was still waiting, like, behind someone else in another line. I'm like, what point was he trying to make? Anyway, I'm gonna strap my chest mount back on and get ready to bike toward, I think the library is going to be the next major landmark, but then that'll really take us into the downtown Salt Lake City area, and we can continue exploring some more from there. I'm kind of on a small hill here, so I'm gonna have to make sure I check the camera angle when I get back on level ground. Let's see how we look here. I think that's pretty good. Well, this has been a long video already, probably. But now we're finally Getting back to the downtown Salt Lake City area. See, I like not having to plan certain things and being able to improvise a little. Because honestly, this morning when I got to downtown Salt Lake City off that North Temple station, I wasn't sure if I was gonna look at downtown right away or do the Folsom Trail, or how far I was going to go on the Jordan River bike trail. One of the things that I think is better about what I'm doing, at least for myself today though, is I'm taking more personal breaks. Like earlier when I sat down at the Ballpark Salt Lake City Bees Stadium, I was there for probably like 15 minutes. Not that I needed a rest, but it just felt nice in the shade, so I relaxed. You know, I went inside earlier, took a break at the Monsieur Crêpes, now the Trader Joe's thing. All those little things add up to kind of re-energize myself for the next part of the video, including the narration aspect, especially with the heat. If it was a 60, 70 degree day, or heck, even colder, I wouldn't need those type of breaks. Passing by an Arby's and a Key Bank. Salt Lake City Library should be coming up soon. Unless I've lost my sense of where I'm at. No, I see the library on the next block. Not sure what this building is on the left. It looks new. Food vendor spaces now leasing. Breakfast. So they're branding it the local market and bar. The local Salt Lake City. So that's a new establishment that they're working on there. It's just pretty nice looking. Salt Lake City Library. They've had a beautiful courtyard area with water in the past. I was also inside the atrium once, and that was nice looking as well. Oh, I didn't remember. You know what, let me cut down this back way. I don't remember this back area to get to the park. You can see they have several bike racks here. It's actually in the word bike rack, you know, B-I-K-E-R-A-C-K. Let me get a picture of that. It's pretty unique. Got a group of bikers up ahead too. Library Square, this is called. Unfortunately, the fountain is off right now. That's probably, again, due to city water constraints. When I was here 2019? No, I think it was August 2018. this whole thing here is a nice stream of water that comes down, and it also flows through the middle. But right now they just have, you know, the little garden park area, which still looks nice, but it's not quite as nice as it could be with the water. And then there's stairs over there that go up, and you can actually walk this entire thing up to the top of the library, and it takes you to like the rooftop. Now, there wasn't anything special on the rooftop the time that I went there. It did give you some pretty nice views of downtown Salt Lake City. Not as nice as if you go up to the observatory at Temple Square in the administration building. Right in front of us, let me try to cross over while I have this intersection. Oh my God, they do have the crosswalk flags here. I saw someone post about that online. But let me remember what this building is. Oh, the City and County Building in downtown Salt Lake. Right at, well, 12:25. I heard the bells ringing. I thought it was going to be like even noon or 1 o'clock. Over there is the Leonardo. They usually have various exhibits. In fact, you know what's funny? It says Van Gogh 360 degrees. That exhibit, I swear, was just in Cleveland, or has been in Cleveland. It may be gone now, but that's funny to see it advertised here now. There's some nice benches on the City and County Building grounds. And then they call the park area Washington Square. Let's see who this Native American statue is. Looks like he's catching a spear that was directed at him, maybe? I don't know. Okay, I was taking another few minutes, not necessarily to rest, but checking out Google Maps. Got to kind of weave in and out here. So there's two main roads, State Street, which is up ahead, and then Main Street, which is after that. But in my videos before, I've talked about this place called Pie Hole, where I have gotten slices of pizza. Probably been there a total of like 5 times in the past, although not on this trip, at least not yet. I think I want to swing by there because it's only, even though it's going to my right, it's only about 1 block down, so it's not too bad. I don't know where the crosswalk signal is for the other side of the street. Oh, this one changed, so we'll cross here first. Oh, on the left here, I never even realized there's the courthouse building on the left. I guess I should have realized that because I've taken the train station, the Green Line, to the courthouse station before. In fact, 2018, I think I got off at the courthouse station to walk down to the Sheraton Hotel. Right next to the tattoo place is Pie Hole. Someone beeping their horn big time. I'm trying to think the best way to show it because you don't have a great angle here. Alright, so yeah, there's Pie Hole. If you check on my channel, I did a short video inside of Pie Hole. It was very quick, probably like 3 minutes. But I think it's worth checking out. They have pretty unique flavors. They're like usually all pre-made and sitting out, and then they throw them back in the oven when it's your time to serve. Let's head back toward Main Street. I was basically walking the bike past those people, just using my foot to slowly maneuver myself. A place called the Green Pig on the right. Nice looking bar with a rooftop eating area as well. This is Main Street. You know what? That's why I didn't recognize it, I think. So this is where the courthouse station is that I get off at in the past, because the trains run down Main Street. So when it says courthouse station, it's referring to what's on the left, but the front of the building is on the other side. And I had just never seen the front of it. The reason we're making this trip down back south is because like the last thing I wanted to show down this direction was the Grand America Hotel. So I get to quickly grab my water bottle now. Might as well drink it while I can because the sun is cooking it. But yeah, that hotel right there is the Grand America Hotel. I did do a video that began with it when I did my Christmas in downtown Salt Lake City video back in, I don't know if that was late November or sometime in December, but I showed off the little exhibit they had inside as well as the huge grand gingerbread house, which was like so amazing to see a gingerbread house of that size. All the effort it took to make it work. So there's the Grand America on the left, and then across, I believe it's called Little America or something like that. I do remember this light always took a little bit longer to change. That wind still feels really nice, like as if it's nowhere near a 90-degree day when you're feel the wind and in the shade. That's the one good thing, is that the humidity is not present when it's hot in Utah. So yeah, if you're in the sun, it's gonna be hot. Otherwise, not so much. So let me pull over here. So yeah, that's the Grand America Hotel. If you want to go back and check out that gingerbread one, look at my November or December videos. That was included in there, and I went in the inside. You could see the bottom level, and there's also a really cool toy store that's in there as well. It just operates as a toy store. And again, there is the Little America. And another spot you can see, Spin must be dropping off and using this as one of their dedicated spots. Maybe they feel like the hotel guests are going to want to use them when they come outside. But yeah, that's the Little America Hotel. So probably a little less expensive, but I don't know if they're related or not. But we will head back up Main Street in a second here. Go back up Main Street, headed north into the heart of downtown. As you can see, this is the blue line. So the green line, red line, and blue line all still come down Main Street. And I believe at this intersection, or the next one, is where they kind of start to deviate. Oh my God, I finally timed this intersection up. I think last time I sort of did do a walking video to a degree of like the Grand America and walking down Main Street a little bit toward Gallivan Center when I was showing Christmas decorations, but that was in the winter when it was like, you know, I don't know if there was quite snow on the ground, but certainly wasn't green in the trees. The red line turning down this street. That'll head eventually down by where we saw the station by Trader Joe's and the library. think the light may not have changed for us. Once I cross the street, I'm going to, I think, walk my bike and walk it up Main Street. That's one of those situations where when I arrived at the crosswalk, I saw several people on both sides already standing there, so I just kind of hope and assume that they pressed the button. But as it turns out, they did not. Alright, so walking down Main Street, intentionally on the side that has the shade right now with the sunlight. See some construction on this building. I believe if you go through this plaza and then took that half side street, that would take you right out by where Pie Hole is. Thank you. So I have mixed feelings on this, all these orange barricades you see. It's open streets, look both ways, stop for trains. So in the middle, throughout the whole week, you know, the trains still ride. There is a nice Utah book and magazine place, cute decorations in the window and a bookstore. And outdoor dining here. Yeah, so I think it benefits mostly these businesses where they can extend during, I believe it's weekends, maybe Fridays too. They can extend their outdoor dining to the street, and then they block off Main Street to regular vehicles. But my partner and I were down here, I believe on Saturday? Yeah, I think it was Saturday, around the lunchtime hour, and even though we weren't down at this part, further up by City Creek, none of the places, or none of the businesses were having outdoor dining, and on top of that, it was like 93 degrees outside. Maybe the trees offered some shade, but I just wasn't sure if it was worth it. I am in favor of like doing that type of street thing. I'm just not sure if this street was the most appropriate for that. This is 300 South. A lot of these streets in downtown do have these partial bike lanes in the street. One of these cross sections does have eventually like a dedicated bike lane protected by a curb. Can't remember if it's 300 South or not. The guy on the bicycle up there was sarcastically talking about the woman crossing the street when it wasn't a walk sign. Apple Spice Cafe and Bakery on the second level. There are some dining places across the street as well. Main Street seems more lively today than maybe the past few times I've come down. And possibly one of the reasons for that is I'm actually here for once during the lunchtime hour, so this is a good time. Again, I'm just inadvertently timing some of these things up. Here's the Gallivant Center. They sometimes hold events on this plaza. And this sign up here is also symbolic of the Salt Lake City Olympics from 2002. See the sign, Gallivant Center. They had a Christmas tree and ice skating rink there during the winter time. See what this little statue is? It says Peace Cradle, I think. Oh, the sun's gonna be right in your eyes, but that's like the Salt Lake City 2002 torch on the paper, although the paper's gotten a bit faded over the years. One thing I feel like I've noticed is that I saw quite a few people using these green bikes when I first started coming down here in 2018. But now, like the last 2 years since the pandemic especially, and you've got all those scooters introduced, I really don't see anyone riding around in the green bikes, which is again a shame because I love and I'm a huge advocate of it. The only reason I'm not using it, like I said, is because my partner is letting me use their bike. Otherwise I'd be using the green bikes to traverse the city. This is 200 South. Now, if you look down there at that big building, Hyatt Regency, that was not here whatsoever in 2018. It wasn't, not even started construction, because I had a conference at the Salt Palace Convention Center back then, and I believe it was the following year they started breaking ground on it. And then now when I came this year, they had apparently finished construction, so that's a new hotel property for the convention center. So you can cross 200 South now. Oh, look at that, that's pretty neat. The electric skateboard. Three Pines Coffee was on my right. What does that say? Pony Express Centennial. Little monument. They have several of these monuments up and down Main Street. One thing I really like about it too is they have, yeah, I know, oh, this is an ice cream place. Eva's Bakery. Croissants. Oh no, actually, that's the, I don't know if it's all one place or different places. There's a bakery in one and ice cream in the other. But yeah, I like how there's a lot of planters. These things here. Oh, looks like they tore down some building in between there. Some new construction going on. See, if this were downtown Cleveland, I would have like all the latest scoop on the background of what's going where, why something is being torn down, or what was even torn down. Here's Vasilos Priskos. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation there. This is the Eccles Theater. Looks like Tin Angel at the Eccles, maybe the current exhibit going on. 2018, 2019, they had a really nice I Love Salt Lake City sign. I believe it was in front of this building. And then I read an article online that they had moved the sign and were going to put it like at different parts of Salt Lake City, like feature it in different areas so you could have different photo opportunities. But then the problem was, anytime they're also having Disney's The Lion King, September 29th through October 23rd. Anytime I tried to look up online, like where is the sign at, there was no mention of it. So I have no clue if the sign's even anywhere now. And there weren't too many people sharing pictures of it. Maybe just I'm the only person that really cares about certain things like that. This is 100 South Street that we're crossing now. Little tip, these cars that are coming up from the parking lot, that's an underground parking lot for the City Creek Center area. And if you go there, the first 2 hours are free to park. After that, they charge like a nominal fee. I think it's $2 maybe per hour. But yeah, if you want to shop at City Creek Center, there's essentially a free parking lot for you to do so. So here's one way to go into City Creek Center from the bottom level. And then the interlink above me connects you because there's 2 floors to it. There's also a Macy's in there. I'm always hesitant that I'll run into a security guard inside that'll tell me don't film, which I'll respect if they do so. But I'll give this a shot. I'm going to try to walk my bike through. See if I can even jingle the bike before the door closes on it. Okay. There's the Macy's across the way. And then throughout the whole middle they have this pretty creek with the water naturally running through it. And the creek extends to the outside part too. Let me just get a picture. Oh, sorry, I was activating the automatic thing. Thank you, though. There's Cafe Rio on the right. This is just opened. Well, when I say just opened, I mean, I want to say within the past year. And you've got the ever popular Cheesecake Factory located here. Some type of spiraling artwork down there. It looks like they also have a EV vehicle charger. Statue of bear, fish, bunch of other animals. This is all again part of the City Creek Center. It's open every day except for Sundays because Temple Square and the Mormons, I believe, own or operate this like facility and whole area. So Sundays everything's closed except I think Cheesecake Factory is open on Sundays. There's a more general food court over there, including a Chick-fil-A and other places. Up top is Neater's Bakery and Cafe and Johnny Rockets. The Red Balloon Toy Store over here on the left. And then that creek we were talking about continues over here. Some of this is redundant again. Just hold on, I'm gonna awkwardly have the camera while I carry my bike. Yeah, I was carrying my bike up the stairs there, so excuse the weird footage for a second. I know I just could have stopped the video, but that creek continues to run all the way through here. Oh, what's this? Italian ice and frozen custard for Zeppi's. I don't remember Zeppi's being here. City Creek with several rotating blocks. I can tell you about the history. And then that brings you to Temple Square across the street. The Church of Latter-day Saints. all these buildings are part of it. And unfortunately, we're still in a state right now where I don't know what to express for people to see, except for the building that is like not in this block. It's like actually on the other side of the administration building. I forget what they call it, but that's like the new main hub of a building that's currently open. But the rest of Temple Square, aside from these corner buildings, are all under construction. Through the year, well, I shouldn't, again, I'm not saying all, but like the big courtyards and a lot of the buildings are under construction, and the completion date was recently pushed back from 2024 to, I believe, part of 2025 now. Oh, we got the light. I was about to press the button, but I saw that it changed. I always see this archway with the falcon. I don't know if I assume that's a falcon bird up top. That always stands out. Thank you. This building is the Beehive House. That one's still intact. Beehive Home served as Brigham Young's residence, office, and reception for official visitors. At the time it was built, Young was both president of the LDS Church and Utah's territorial governor. Beehive House was designed by Young's brother-in-law, Truman Angel. That's a nice bit of trivia. I know I've heard about the Beehive House before. I don't know what it currently serves as. Visitors welcome 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then the one next to it is the Lion House. There's a little sign here for that. So unfortunately, this is what I was talking about. Construction. All under construction. Oh, can I catch any of the sprinklers? No. They're pointing toward the thing. This is an administration building of some kind, but I believe the big, huge administration building is the one behind it. Again, in 2018, when I was first here, none of this construction had started. So I got to experience the beautiful courtyards and see all the buildings in their grand glory. Like the flowers and fountains. It was just like great. You didn't have to be like religious or anything like that. Oh, look at this. This was all like pretty flowers before. It's all torn up right now. And on the top of that big building was an observatory deck. When I went up there, there was a person who kind of went out with me and was giving me the history of the church. So I don't know if they had let people up there by themselves to explore, but he wasn't overbearing at all. I was, asking questions, and it was interesting to hear about some of the history, and it's just polite to do. Joseph Smith Memorial Building, a grand dome of hotels. This may still be a hotel here. I think they're actually going to force you to cross the street here. You can't even get by on this part.
What's up, man? Sorry. No, you're good.
There's one of the most popular buildings on the Temple Square area. And you can see that one's the one that seems to have the most construction going on as they redo the outside, and I'm sure a lot of the inside as well. Yeah, but I've always thought that was kind of interesting because Temple Square is, or should be, one of the biggest draws for tourists if they're here. Like, they may not come here specifically for Temple Square, but if they're here on a conference, I think it's natural to say, hey, you know, Temple Square is one of the big things Salt Lake City is known for, and yet it's been out of commission for, it'll be like 4 or 5 years. I lost sight of it, but beyond that tree back there and way in the distance is the Utah Capitol building. Over there is the one part of Temple Square that is still open. We'll head on over there in a little bit. Oh, it's nice that the fountains are on at City Creek. The very first time I came to City Creek, I entered through this way. So I always kind of envision this as the entrance to it. There's the Louis Vuitton store. There's the fountain. Every so often the fountain will shoot up and do like a fountain show. But I don't want to stay around too long and wait for it. Oh, wait a minute. As I say it, there it goes. Grab a little water break here. Well, the fountain show's been more impressive than that in the past. There's certain times where it actually does the show, so I don't know what that little thing was. Gotta remember to take a couple more pictures for social media purposes. Believe me, that's one of the feelings as a content creator that drives me crazy. Is like, let's say I feel like I did a really nice video and then I want to post it to Twitter and Instagram or have a good thumbnail for YouTube. And let's say I did finish the whole video and then I was like, realized, wait a minute, I didn't have any good pictures to like advertise or draw people's eyes in. Because when people first are enticed to the video, they're going to want to see, or going to have to see pictures first before they decide to click on it or not. I wonder if Crumble Cookie is gone. Oh no, there it is. Okay. Yeah, it's always been tricky. See the sign here? Crumble Cookie, but you wouldn't know it except actually inside this Desiree book place there's a small Crumble Cookie location where they only give 2 flavors of cookies. They're chocolate chip or they're like sugar frosting cookies. You can get them in boxes of like 1 cookie or 4 cookies. We're gonna cross back over to Temple Square now. So in the past they would put these fences up so you could still see. But right now they even have stuff blocking that off. But for the parts you can still enjoy, over here, don't have the water going. This is Assembly Hall. That's the tabernacle over there. Oh, so that building in the distance, I don't know if you can see it, but the one with all the narrow windows, it's the LDS Conference Center. So that, while all this construction is going on, has converted to be essentially the main visitor center for anyone coming. And this is an example of one of the garden areas that still is in existence. So this used to be like the smallest garden area. Now it's still up, but imagine, you know, all the other sections that are under construction previously having been beautified with all this garden work. And this is how this looked. I'm sure a lot of progress has been made, but this is how this looked a year ago to me, with all this construction work. So it's easy to see why it's going to be until 2025 until it's all said and finished. This is not going to be an overnight project. It looks like they've completely finished tearing down the North Visitor Center, which used to be over here, and I loved how 2018 when I was in there, they had this big statue, like you climbed a spiral staircase, and at the top was a statue. It might have been Jesus, like a statue of Jesus, but the colors in the room and the spherical nature and everything was just pretty to look at. All torn down now. I don't know if they have plans for rebuilding something there, or if it's just going to become like more garden and beautification. Oh, and so I was saying earlier, tabernacle. That's what I mean, like the big orchestra and sound, music, organ recital. It tells you what time it's going to be happening. Oh, even the sidewalk here is closed. So when I've ridden my bike in the past, even last year, we would always come down this sidewalk. But they're doing work on that too. Oh, here we go. Let me turn my bike. So it shows you the construction areas. And we're down here. Doesn't quite say if they're replacing the visitor center. But number 7, where you saw like all that construction work being done, that is the Salt Lake Temple. So that is like, I feel like the main building. The Family History Museum is that big building there, and then over there is the Children's Museum, I think. I'm going to probably cross the street and check out the spot that has some shade. Oh. I'll stay on the left here, see a vehicle coming toward me. But as far as other things I want to show down here, probably the Utah Jazz Arena and then the Gateway area. And then I'll have to look and see what time the Frontrunner train is coming. Last year when my partner and I rode from Layton all the way to downtown Salt Lake City, we parked our bicycles and locked them up right here before going through City Creek Center a bit. That's where I'm going to temporarily check Google Maps and decide what to do here. Alright, just leaving my little pit stop there. I see that the next Frontrunner train comes in about a half hour. So I think I can time this up. So that Salt Palace Convention Center would be over on that left side with that new hotel. Maurice Abervanel Hall just up ahead. You know what? I'm gonna hop back on the bicycle. Let me attach this to my chest again. Alright. I have to make sure I tighten it correctly. Otherwise it doesn't stay in the right spot. See, Jurassic World August 12th and 13th is going to be featured at the hall. Like bicycling this little part because there's not a lot to see, but what the heck is going on the right side here? There is a boatload of people, a bunch of basketball hoops temporarily set up. Let me see if I can zoom in for you guys a bit. Like that, I never see any type of traffic over there. I do see U Health over there, so it must be some type of function for. Looks like a lot of like kid area age, not tiny kids, but anywhere between kids to teenagers. There's some food places over there as well, food trucks. And then here's the Utah Jazz Vivant Arena. I've seen several different versions of the logo on this colorful thing. First year when I came here, the color was like green, blue, yellow. Then last year they switched it to all black, which I really didn't care for per se. But I like this one. It's like a throwback. I want to take a selfie, but I don't want to take a selfie with this. It's not so bad with the black shirt on. Sometimes when I'm wearing a different color shirt, this looks weird, taking the selfies in it. Yeah, this is the Salt Lake City arena where the Utah Jazz play. Never ridden up on this portion, that's why I'm curious to see what is over here. Is there a seating area? I mean, you could sit down on some of these circular things, but I'm gonna go back because I'm not gonna carry the bike down the stairs. I'll just drive it down the ramp. So we are going to make a left turn down this ramp to save myself from having to carry this bike down the stairs. I already carried it upstairs. Where did I carry it earlier? I know I carried it somewhere. Oh, by the Trolley Square. So here is the gateway. Usually when I do videos of this, I turn to the right and just head to the train station, but since I still have a little bit of time here, let me go to the left instead. Olympic Plaza would be to your right. I guess you can access it from there. I didn't realize you could. Some of this might just be residential places to stay. And there's a parking garage for the gateway area. That's kind of what I wanted to show down here, the Clark Planetarium, as well as an IMAX theater is down there. Oh. Like I said, I might as well keep going. There's the box at the gateway, performing in visual arts. So I don't know if this is maybe sort of like a mini theater district that's developed down here, because you also have the Megaplex movie theater with the colorful stairs. Can we get through on the lower level here? Yeah. That is so weird. There are... Maybe it's intentional. That's like a water system sprinkling down from the lights to keep you cool. There's a lot more swing benches than I remember over here, which is a nice touch, as well as cheddar burger. Well, I know the mist is blowing down, but unfortunately I can't feel any of it. There's Costa Vida on my left. Cool popsicle decoration here.
Was it the spring that came with summer?
I can feel some of the mist now. That is a nice touch to have a subtle mist blowing down on it.
Touching hand, reaching out, touching me, touching you.
It's too bad there's not more people here listening to the musical performance.
Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. we fill it up with only two. And when I play, a burden runs off my shoulders. How can I look when I'm holding?
Yeah, I swear this is the first time I've ever seen sprinkler system coming down from the lights. That's the thing I always see about the gateway, though. It looks pretty and nice. I just don't see a high volume of people here. And one good thing is I do feel like there's more businesses occupying spaces. They must be doing well enough, though, because I thought it was relatively dead in terms of traffic in 2018, and yet still here, apparently going strong in 2022. Let's see what time we got here. I don't want to be too late for the train. We still got 12 minutes till it comes, but I'll be headed over there shortly. I feel like I've seen a touch of more artwork too in the gateway, like that, even that Utah Jazz number 45. And you've got the colorful crosswalk here. Maybe during the lunchtime hour, it's like a lot more crowded down here. It has to be, right, for it to still have as many businesses as it does. And I really enjoy the green space and flowers that they have throughout the gateway too. Get one more swig of water here. Camera's back off of my chest mountain in my hand just for this final stretch here. I do still see some empty business spots like over there, although the signs for whatever this recursion is saying coming soon, and it's shown on multiple sides of the street. The mural above you is part of the outdoor art gallery at the gateway. Oh, okay. So here's an interesting one. There's a mural underneath the bridge here, so you look up. There's the Rocket Fizz soda pop and candy shop. Here's a fountain or splash pad at the gateway with the colorful chairs and green stairs. Those swing tables with the swing chairs seem new to me too. Yeah, the gateway always has a nice amount of chairs here. Sometimes they do movie nights. I've shown the Great Fall Wall over there before. Always the little monument for remembering the Salt Lake City Olympics. I feel like I've taken this picture like 10 times in the past, but usually can't beat it. Alright, I better hurry on up now. Granted, we're not far away. We're not far away from the station at all, but sometimes it comes a few minutes early. I don't have the camera attached to my chest right now either, so taking it a little bit slower riding here. And I always love it when a video comes full circle. If you remember, that's where we began the video, coming off the North Temple Station, and we took that path over there called the Folsom Trail, which was new, and then our adventure just continued on, and we did I feel like a pretty decent tour of downtown Salt Lake City and some of the nearby areas. So if you enjoyed this video of Salt Lake City with the bike riding adventure mixed in, feel free to hit that like button, give us a subscribe, and we will see you next time. Talk about good timing, right?
It's like, no, not today. Seriously. Spin back. There's 3 dogs. Like, Very nice.